then this is kind of a late announcement, but when we are all done, I've got a brand new box of Leaf that we're going to open. It's got 12 autos in it, and we're going to give the autos to everybody that's here. So we're going to do that at the end.
Cool. Awesome.
You guys will get a little prize at the end. So my name is Ian Badir. If you already know me, I'm sorry. If you don't know me, welcome. So what we're going to be talking about today is just how to take our collecting to the next level. A lot of us have a lot of cards, whatever sport that we collect, and staying organized through all of it can be a bit of a challenge. And what I want to show you guys today is some of the tools that I've used over the course of my time collecting, and just share those tips that I've learned of how to get yourself organized and how to find ways to get more cards that you want and get rid of the cards that you don't want in an efficient manner. Unless you want to go the fastest route, which is just giving them to Chris.
Yep,
so
basically a donation.
That would be the fastest route.
Free will donation.
So, some qualifying questions, like number one, you have a lot of cards, but now you're wondering what the heck are you supposed to do with all these cards that you've accumulated. Number two, how do you easily get rid of the cards that you don't want? Number three, how can you keep better track of what you have? And number four, how can you connect more with other people that are in the hobby? Local card shops are fantastic, but everybody that you visit with at your local card shop may not necessarily be collecting the team that you collect. They may have different interests. Are there other ways that we connect with people that are chasing the same things that we are so we can help each other out? So there's a lot of different avenues that we can use for that. So what we're going to look at today is inventory managers. We're also going to take a look at trading, and then I'm going to share some of the tips that I've learned through that process through using one of those inventory managers. So as far as what's out there today, if you guys have heard of Beckett, who's been around since the beginning of time, Beckett has an original price guide that you can subscribe to for, I think it's like $9 a month. If you subscribe to that, you will get their inventory manager along with that online price guide subscription. And then you can use Beckett's database. So if you collect a player, a team, want to organize your collection, be able to see what your collection is worth according to Beckett, you can do that through their paid service. If you're like me and you don't like paying for any more subscription services than you need to, you might want to take a look at the ones that are free that are out there right now before you consider going to a paid one. There's two big free ones that are out there. These are ones that I use both of them to this day, so I can speak extensively about both of them and my experiences using them. The one at the bottom, Sports Card Forum, that is the one that kind of got me into what we call super collecting. So if you know a little bit about me, I super collect Alex Gordon and Jermaine Dye baseball cards. My definition of a super collector, everybody has a little bit different one, is I'm trying to get one of every card made of those guys that's numbered 2 and above. So 101s I don't care about, but everything numbered 2 and above, that's what I'm chasing for those two guys. So when I got started with Sports Card Forum, they had a database where I could just say, I want to collect Jermaine Dye. And it would say, great, load in the cards you have of Jermaine Dye, and we'll tell you all the Jermaine Dye cards that you're missing. That was invaluable, because then I had one single resource that I could go to that would tell me what's out there that I need to go and search for. Parallels that I've never even heard of, that may not exist, extremely useful. So I used that for years to track my collections, and if you ever visit my website, you'll see their breakdown that they provide that shows you what my collecting percentage is of those guys. It'll say, hey, Ian has 80%, of the non-one-of-one Jermaine Dye cards. So that's a great tool that you can use. And Sports Card Forum's inventory manager is run by basically just an individual group of people. So they'll have one guy that's responsible for doing all the baseball card inputs. So the only disadvantage of it is you've got one person in charge of each category. So they may not necessarily be as quick to load in new collections or new sets that are released, like 2020 Donruss just came out. So it's going to be some time before you'll see 2020 Donruss cards loaded into that site. The one we're going to focus on today is Trading Card Database. That's the one that I've been the most involved in the past year. Trading Card Database is a user community. So their database is run a little bit differently. What you can do on Trading Card Database is you can submit and add sets yourself. So they have a set of guidelines that they use and say, hey, when you're adding a new set, we'd ask that you do it in this way so that we have consistency across all those sets. So all you have to do with TCDB is basically go through their little checklist that says, yes, I agree to load in cards according to your community standards, and then you can add cards yourself. So if they're missing a set, an oddball set that you love to collect and you want other people to collect and chase that set as well, you can add that set yourself. So it's a much, much faster way to build a bigger database because it's run by everyone. So this is Trading Card DB. This is the one we'll be doing a live demo of today. We'll show you guys how to set up your own account, how to get started, how to add your cards, how to look for cards that you're missing, and how to initiate trades with other people on Trading Card Database. So things we're going to go over: site overview, how to search for a team, a set, a player, how to add cards to your collection, and how to see what everybody else has. So this part, as we go into the demo, I want to be as informal as possible. So if you guys have questions, if you're trying to do something on your phone or your laptop and it's not working, feel free to stop me. I don't have an hour of content to talk about today, so this is all about you guys and just helping you guys get started, learn about it, so feel free to stop, interrupt me at any time. So this is a conversation at this point. So we'll go fire up Trading Card DB. I'll go ahead and log out so you guys see what it looks like here. So here's their homepage. Click register right there. The website you're going to go to, there's two sites that they have. If you want the shortest one, it's tcdb.com. So feel free to open that up on your phone right now. You can also go to tradingcarddb.com. If you already have an account, feel free to log in and follow along. And then you should see a register link over in the far right. Go ahead and hit that. And then you'll choose a username for yourself, punch in your email, choose a password, and there will be a qualifying question to make sure that you're not a robot. So you can see here it says if you have 3 cards and someone gives you 4, how many do you have? Yay, I'm Canadian, I have to answer a math question. And go ahead and get your account created. So I'm going to go ahead and log into mine. All right, and we'll go over to the different categories that they have. So we'll fire up the collection area. So if you'll look here over in the far right, you'll see once you have your account made, you will have your name and you can click on it. And here's the areas of Trading Card Database that they have. You have your collection, you have messages between yourselves and another user. So this is not just a database. This is a website, it's a user community. It has a forum built into it where you can talk with other people. There are forums about specific sets, about specific players. So if you want to start a conversation about the new 2020 Donruss, you can do that in a 2020 Donruss thread that's built in. So anybody that goes to the set can see your comments about it. The profile, that's going to be where you are. So you can go and see your profile. This right here is very important, last login. And it's important for you for when you're interacting with other people on the website. So a little bit later, we're going to look at how to go find a baseball card or a football card or whatever. And you'll see that somebody has that in their collection or they have it for sale and for trade. So you can click on their name. The first thing you want to do is see, is this person an active member of this website? This website has been around since 2008. It's here to stay. It's got a very, very large user community. But there are going to be some end users that made an account, loaded in a bunch of cards, and they haven't logged in since then. So for you to be successful, if you're sending trades to people, sending messages, are you going to get a response? Stick with people that are active, in the last month on the website. If they haven't logged in 3 years, it's probably not worth sending them a message. So just be aware of that last login. You'll see what country the person is from, how many cards they've loaded into their collection, if they have any notes about it. So you can see on mine, I have a note saying, hey, I'm going to collect Royals from all years. Feel free to send me trade offers. And then I've got a link where you can go over to my website. And then down here, you'll have links. So Trading Card Database, they have their system automatically choose a card of the day. You'll see that. Links to your collection, to go to the forum. You can set your own collecting goals. So if you want to collect a specific set, you can set a goal for that set, and Trading Card Database will track it for you. Show your percentage as you add cards to it. Items that you've added, you can rate sets, from 1 to 10 stars. You can see which sets people really like. Look at what's been recently added, recently collected. You can embed links to your website, your Twitter account. And then down here, you'll see feedback. Feedback's essential if you're going to be doing trading with people. So if you want to send someone a trade request, pay attention to their feedback. Do they have any feedback? If they don't have any feedback, the person probably doesn't use the website for doing trading. They're probably just using it as a database. But if the person has a whole bunch of feedback, then you'll be able to say, okay, this is probably a person I can initiate a trade with. You can look at the transactions they've completed and who they've completed those trades with, and you can propose a transaction, just propose a trade to that person. other things you can do is you can set players to be your favorite ones to notify people, hey, I really like these sets or I really like these players. So if someone is contacting you to send you a trade request, you can give them clues about the types of players or sets that you really like to collect. And then you can have friends as well, so you've got shortcuts to see your friends' profiles. So any questions on the profile? Did anyone have any issues setting up an account? Okay.
Do they ever go through and flush out people that haven't logged in? And
They don't.
So
And most of that's because they want to respect the time that you took to load your cards into your profile.
Gotcha.
Quick question too.
Yeah.
Like when you do trades on here with other members on the site,
Mm-hmm.
do they like send you a transaction at like when you go to ship a card off or some cards? Do they like give out the
Tracking details.
tracking details?
Yep. So it just depends. You'll have two types of trades. You'll have what they call PWE trades, plain white envelope, which means they're just going to send it to you as a letter.
Mm-hmm.
So you may do a trade with someone that's just 3 cards. You can do a trade with someone that's 15 cards, and they can still fit that very easily into just an envelope. Put a cereal box around it to make sure that that envelope doesn't bend, and a non-machinable stamp on it, and send it to you. So there may not be tracking on those trades, but a lot of people will do small trades via envelope. Big trades will do fire up paypal.com/shipnow. You can print your own shipping label.
But if you wanted tracking too, you can like work out your members, both parties.
Yep.
Can do that.
Yep, exactly. And we'll look at trading in a little bit. So now we're going to look at collecting. Like, how do we add our first card to our collection? So let's say I've busted a box of 2020 tops, right? And I want to add some of those cards to my collection. So up here at the top is your search. You can see all the different types that they have. So if you're going to be a person who collects something other than baseball, you'll need to change the search first before you search for it. So if I try to look for a 2019-20 Prism basketball, but I search for it under baseball, it's not going to come up. So just pay attention to that you have the right sport selected when you do your search. I've spent tons of time trying to find Panini Father's Day under baseball, and it's not there because it's under multi-sport because it has basketball guys in it, and football and baseball. So when you're really frustrated and you're like, this set doesn't exist, it's probably because you're in the wrong sport. So we're going to type in 2020 tops and search. You'll come up with, if you match the name exactly, you'll get an overview right here to jump you to the set. They'll also show you, hey, here's everything we had that was close to what you searched for. You can hit the more button and it will show you everything. It'll also show if you're searching for the year. You'll see that as well. So we can just click overview and that'll hop us into the set. So here's the 2020 top set. You can see the date that it was released. You'll get information about it, people's rating of the set, how they like it. And then you've got some important links here. You've got the checklist, sorted by teams. Are there any errors and variations? Who are the Hall of Famers, rookies? What about inserts and related sets? And a whole bunch of additional links to give you more information about that set. And they'll give you a preview of the first 10 to 15 cards right here. So I'm going to go to the checklist. And that will show me, here's the list of all of these cards. Now I want to add some new cards that I've just gotten from this to my collection. And maybe I want to trade them. Now the way that you can do that, you'll see these links over here. You'll see collection summary there. You'll see collection summary here. And if we go back on the first page, you'll see collection summary here. That's going to be the main link that you're going to want to start with, whether or not you're going to add them to your personal collection, or if you're going to mark them as for trade, or if you're just going to say, hey, I want these cards. So click on collection summary. And it will show you, all right, here's the set. Here's the overview of it. You got a 350 card set. If you include short prints, it's 454 cards. If you already have some of these cards in, it's going to show you what your percentage of completion is. And now here's your important links. Adding and updating. If I just want to put these in my collection, I'm going to hit add update. If I want new cards, I can go through that link, and everything I check the box on, it will put on my want list. And then same thing goes for putting as for sale trade. So we're going to look at collection first. All right, so this 2020 Topps card here of Mike Trout, right? If I didn't have this card in my collection, I can hit remove. Maybe I traded it to somebody in person, and I can take those out, and it will remove those from my collection. I can also scroll through here, and we'll see that are cards that are highlighted in blue, cards that are highlighted in green. Colors over there, that's going to be your legend for the website. So look over there, blue means it's in my collection. Don't match this card up with anybody else for trades. I'm keeping it. You can change that identifier at any time, but if you don't want people to be sending you trade requests for cards, mark them as blue. Green means for sale trade, means I want this card to be available, people can match up and see that I have this card, and they can send me trade requests for it, and if I'm sending a trade request to someone, it will be in my list of cards that I can trade. Pink means want list. So this Robinson Cano card number 4, if I want to put this on my want list, I can hit this little drop down. I can put one in my collection, put one on for sale trade, or put one on want list. Click that, and it's going to change to pink. And there we go. So now this card is on my want list. Now that Mike Trout card that I got, maybe I want to trade it because I don't collect Mike Trout. So I can hit the drop down and hit add another to for sale trade. So you can do any of the 3 actions from this menu, but if you're going to do it in mass, this is why you start in collection summary. So I'm going to take those out. Remove. We're going to go to collection summary. And let's say I've picked up a bunch of cards and I want to trade all of them. I'm going to do this link here, add update for sale trade list, because now all I have to do is check a box and it will make it green every single time. So it's going to save you clicks as you go through the platform. So you'll learn there are shortcuts to just about everything that you can do in here, and most of them come from this collection summary page. So if we hit for sale trade, all I need to do now, I don't have to hit this drop down, I can just check the box, and boom, Mike's green. Maybe I picked up the short print, boom, that's green. Just like that, and it'll put all of those on your for sale trade list with just that one click. Same thing goes for collection, and same thing goes for want list. If you want those, you can mark them accordingly. So, any questions on collection, want list, trading so far? Does that make sense for how they organize it? Okay. Let's look at a subset. Let's see if we can find a smaller one like cut signatures here. All right, so here's the cut autographs that they have in this set. Let's say I wanted to chase, make some impossible chase of trying to get all the cut signatures here. There's actions that I can do to save me clicks. Let's get that whole thing. All right, so we can remove them. We can move all of them from our collection to our trading list. We can move everything in our for sale into our collection. We can move all duplicates into for sale. So these are all based on the fact that right now I'm in the for sale version of this list. So if I go collection summary and say want list, because I want to get those cards, my actions change. Now I can say, hey, I want all these cards. Add all the cards I don't have. I'll say, are you sure? Yep, okay. And now this whole set's going to go pink. And so with just a couple of clicks, now I've notified the website, hey, if any of these cards get posted for sale trade, I want you to notify me. What Trading Card Database does, and the reason they ask you for your email is, you will receive an email once a day from the platform with any cards that are posted for sale that are on your want list. So the beauty of the system is, as you mark what you have, what's for trade, what cards you want, the system does the rest for you and will literally email you matches and say, hey, this guy has the card that you need.
How many users are on the site?
Thousands. I'm not sure what the total count is though, but it's thousands. So now if you're like, dang it, I didn't want to put all of these cards on my want list. You can go back to your actions and say, remove all these cards from my want list. You don't have to go and check them all individually. And you're back to normal. And people will also submit images for these cards. So if an image has been submitted from a user, like this Duke Snyder one, you can see that that cut has already been pulled, and there will be images of the front and back. So the images are extremely helpful because you may not know, you're like, hey, I got a base card out of 2020 Donruss. I don't know if it's the variation, the short print, or the regular base card. Because you submitted the image, it will all be there in the checklist. Makes it super easy. You don't need to be an expert on every set. You just go here for your set, scroll through, click the image if you're not sure, and see what card you have. So next, we're going to look at matching up with someone. So I've already put a bunch of cards on my want list, and now we know how to put cards on a want list. What I can do is I can go over here to my collection, and TCDB gives you some fantastic shortcut links at the bottom of your collection here. So you can see here, here's my collection. I have 77,000 cards on my want list. No, I did not check those off individually. I literally just went to the Royals team page and hit I want everything. And I put every card I didn't have for Royals and put it there. For sale trade, here's the cards that I have for sale trade. If you have anything unopened, like maybe you got a sealed box, you can also put in sealed boxes as well. Cards that you have in transaction and cards that you have in transit. So you can see there's 302 cards that I have in the wild between myself and other users via trades right now. And now right down here for reports, this is where the power of the website really starts to come into play. You can browse members with items on their want list here by sport. Browse members that have items on their for sale trade list. Just see people that have stuff for trade. But here's your matches now. Match items on your want list with items that people have for sale. So these people are literally looking to get rid of cards that you've indicated that you want. No other website does this that I know of besides Trading Card Database. So I can hit the sport that I'm looking for, baseball. And now what you've just told the website is you've basically just told it to make a gajillion database requests to go find all the matches. So if you have, like I do, 77,000 cards on your want list, clicking this link takes time because it's now going to populate every single set match that you have with someone and then put it in a list for you. So, thing to be aware of, there are requests that you can make on Trading Card Database that will just about break the website, where it'll spin for a really, really, really long time and then you'll get a server timeout. If that happens, just give it a break, come back, try again later. You just made a really giant database request and there just wasn't enough resources available. So just be aware of that. You can break it temporarily by making a request that it can't fulfill. So as you can see here, up in the top, it's still spinning on that. You can also look at recent matches, which should not take nearly as long to load. So I'm going to open that in another window here. All right, so this is what your emails would look like. So if you have matches set, you can say, hey, I want to receive emails on matches. And what I did is I put every Royals card in existence on my want list. Well, that means I'm going to get emails all the time, which I don't want. So I just turn off in my profile, don't send me emails about my matches. I'll go look at them myself. So you can also always cut down on those notifications if you don't need them, and you can just look at them manually. It'll say, hey, here, Saturday between 12 and 1, we found matches on cards that you've listed that other people want, and then here's the want list, the cards you want that other people have. So we'll hit view. It's going to say, all right, we have a match, and that match is 2020 Topps Heritage Baseball. Brand new product that just came out. I put it on my want list because the checklist was already loaded in the website, and now somebody has it for sale. So I can hit this link, and that will show me what that card is. It's this Jorge Soler card, number 63. And the member that has it is Irish77. So what I can do is click on his name. It'll jump me to his page. Here he is. Great, his last login's today. That makes sense because he just put this card up there. You can see his collection, details about him. He collects Japanese and US Pro Baseball and Atlanta Braves. And we can look down at his feedback. This guy does a ton of trading. He's got 240 comments. So this should be a pretty easy person to send a trade request to because they do it all the time. So I can hit propose a transaction. I can look at the trades he's done with other people. And then these buttons are fantastic. So I can match all the items that I want that he has and see them all up front before I send him a trade request. Because maybe I want to do trades with people that are at least 5 cards. So it's worth the stamp, right? That Jorge Soler card is worth like a dime. Okay, so maybe I don't want to pay a stamp to go get it. So I can go look and see, if I can get off my mouse here, and match. It'll say, all right, items on your want list that match cards that this guy has. We'll go through sports. I'm going to go to baseball. And now you can choose how you want to do it. If you're a set collector, the fastest way is to match your list by set. So you can click that, and it will give you a list. Here's all the sets you match with this guy. Well, shoot, I match with him on 1 set. So that means he probably doesn't have a lot of other additional cards that I need. You can go back. You can match on player name if you're just a person who collects a player. But maybe your player played for 14 different teams because you collect like Gary Sheffield or something. Then what you can do is match by name so you don't have to search for every single team that Gary Sheffield played for. And then you can go by team. If you're like me and you're a team collector, you can say, just show me all the matches this guy has for the team that I collect. You can hit Kansas City Royals. It's going to be 1 card, as we know from the set list. And then you'll see that card. And there it is. And if I want to send him a trade request for this card, I can click Profile, take me back to his profile, and propose a transaction. So let's go ahead and go through that. So propose a trade. You can say, I want to buy something from you, sell something to you, or initiate a trade. You'll hit next, and what it's going to do is going to take you to the transactions window, which we haven't looked at before. This is where all the trading on the website happens. So see some categories. Composing, those are trades that you want to build to send to people that have not been sent out. They don't know that you're working on them, but that's sit there in the composing area. Offers are trade offers from people that are sent to you that you need to respond to. And you'll get an email from the platform when someone sends you a trade offer. Proposed, those are ones that I've sent out to other people of cards I want to trade that I'm waiting to hear back from them on. And then in progress, trades where both of you have agreed that you want to do the trade, and now they stay in progress till both of you have your cards. And then when they're done, they'll move over to completed. So I started trading on the platform summer of last year, and I've already completed 89 trades with people. And one of the things that you'll find is that when you put a lot of cards on your want list and you load a lot of cards in that you want to trade, it's really easy to match up with people. And the system will take care of it. You may never initiate a trade yourself, and you'll still get 2 to 3 trade offers a week from people saying, hey, do you want to do a quick swap? Usually when you're a brand new member, they'll do small card swaps with you. And then as you do more, they'll be doing 80 to 150 card swaps with people. So I'm doing a trade right now with a guy, and he wanted so many Topps Chrome cards from me, I went over the weight limit on my package and had to divide it up. So it gets really fun as you do swaps with people. So we're going to do a trade with Irish77. It'll put a trade ID on it. So now update is going to be in there. So we'll click on update, and this is your trading window. This is all based on the database. So where the power of TCDB comes into fashion is, as you load cards in and you want to initiate a trade with someone, trading card database will move the cards between the collections for you. So it rewards you for the investment of time that you put into the platform. So if you loaded in 100 Topps Chrome cards and put them all as for sale trade, then somebody wants to trade for them, you'll load them in here, usually with one click from selecting the whole Topps Chrome set, send them over to them, and as they receive them, it will remove them from your inventory for you. That's the beauty of it. So as you complete trades, the system is swapping the cards into each person's inventory for you, which is fantastic. So you're not sitting around just clicking a bunch of buttons trying to clean it up every time you're doing trades with people. So, Irish, we wanted a card from him. So it's going to say, what would you like? We're going to hit edit. And maybe the card that he has is a card that's not listed in his for sale trade list, or maybe we want cash in return. We can type it out there if we want, but the power is going to be in selecting the items where the database does the work for us. So we're going to choose the selection method. Again, same thing, set or by name or by team. Any way we go. So we're going to go by set, hit next, it's baseball, it's 2020 Topps Heritage, and it's this card. We click on it, and if there's a whole bunch of cards, if you guys have ever used Shift on your keyboard to select multiple ones, if you're going to do them in a line, or use Control to select individual ones. If a person has duplicates of a card, you're going to see all the duplicates here. So just be careful if you're trying to select 100 cards and they have dupes and you don't want them, use Control to unselect the dupes as you go through the list. And then you just hit Add. So now that baseball card is there, you can always click on it. If you forgot what the baseball card looked like, it'll be right there. If you want to click and go directly to the baseball card, all those links still live right there. What do you have to offer? Okay, we're going to hit select. But we didn't look to see if we had any cards he wanted. So this is the fun part. So we'll see. We can match by set, names, team. We know this guy collects the Braves because he told us. So we're going to hit next. Going to go baseball. And we're going to click on the Braves. Okay, we can see the list in here are all teams that we have matches with him on. So we have a lot of cards that this guy wants. We'll hit next. And now it's going to populate every single Atlanta Braves card I have that are on this gentleman's want list. And I have a lot of choices. So I can go through the list. Maybe I want to get rid of a duplicate. And I can see down here I have 2 of this Topps opening day Dansby Swanson card. So I'll click on that one, hit add to transaction. It'll take us back to the trading window. If I forgot what the Dansby looks like, great, there's an image of it right there. Now, if you want to see what a little bit more details about the cards, because maybe you're not as familiar, you may not know if it's a short print or a variation or something like that. Maybe somebody sent you an offer and they're only giving you 1 card and they want 20 from you. Well, they may be offering you a more valuable card. When you look at a card, you will see, and I just middle clicked on that to open it in a new window. You'll see a price option. So users have the option to submit the price if a card has been sold. So again, for cards that are $1 and under, the price thing really doesn't mean a whole lot. Everybody knows it's probably a nickel card or a quarter card, so don't worry about it too much. But if it's a more valuable short print, you can use the price that's on there if it's reported for a card and see the estimated value on it. The thing to remember about price on a website like this is it's usually something like a Beckett value and not a real world value. So you could have cards in there that all say they're worth $4, but if you went to search to go buy it on COMC, that card would be like 38 cents. So just be aware that the values there are not gospel, but they can give you a good general idea of, is the person trading the higher end cards and they asking for lower end, and vice versa? Are we somewhere in the same value range? The other part you can do when you're looking for a specific card is you can look down here and see 87 mentions and collections. This is one of my favorite features, and this is how I got started on TCDB, because I wanted to find cards I didn't have. 87 people have mentioned this in their collections. It does not mean 87 people have this card, and you'll see why in a moment. It's going to sort them. These people all have it in their collections. If you see anonymous, that means the person just made their collection private. Okay? So the number of people that actually have this card in their collection is 55. These people, there's me, diehard fan. These people all want this card, 16. These people all have this card available to trade it, 11 of them. These people in transit are doing trades on this card right now. There's my good friend Matthew. He's a Royals collector who kind of got me more involved in TCDB. He's doing a trade to get this card right now. So, if, let's say for example with Irish 77, I don't really want to do a one card trade with this gentleman, and I want to do a bigger trade with somebody and still get this card. I have 10 more options of other people I could send trade offers to go get this card that they may have more cards that I need. So you've usually got options, especially on common base sets if you're trying to get base sets built. If it's a parallel, there may not be anybody that has it, or there may only be one or two. But all of these people, I can hop over to their profiles. So I see people I've done trades with before. You know, I've done a trade with Hilo Chef, so I can click on his name, take me over to his profile, and I can hit propose a transaction. And again, I can see, hey, how many cards does this guy have that I need? And do a refresh. And you can see over here, he's marked the favorite sets that he has that he likes. Panini Prism is in his club. So what questions do you guys have from what you've seen so far?
When you were talking about the plain white envelope shipping,
Yeah.
you said how many cards can you fit in a plain white envelope?
So the rule with sending plain white envelopes is it cannot be more than a 1/4 inch thick.
What about weight? Is it more than an ounce, I thought?
You can do up to 3.5 ounces.
And that's a 55-cent stamp?
And so the way it works is your forever stamp will run you 55 cents. Here's the lesson that I learned. You don't put a forever stamp on for every ounce. It's much, much cheaper to go to the post office and buy their additional ounce stamps. It turns out it only costs 85 cents to send a 3-ounce letter to somebody. So it's not 55 times 3. So you can go to the post office and you can buy the forever stamps to start off with, get a book of those will cost you 55 cents. An additional ounce, you can buy a book of those stamps, those only cost you 15 cents. So if you're gonna send a 2-ounce package to someone, you'll put a forever stamp and a plus 1-ounce stamp. And now it costs you 70 cents, not $1.10. And that adds up really fast when you do a lot of trades with people. And then again, you can also purchase a 2-ounce stamp, which is gonna run you 70 cents. You can also buy a non-machinable stamp. If you don't know what that means, in the post office, when packages go through, they all go through a machine. The machine rolls them through. Now for baseball cards, that's really not optimal. You know, especially if you try to ever send someone a relic card through an envelope that's not in a bubble mailer. Relic cards generally get destroyed by plain white envelopes. So I generally would not advise you to ever ship a relic card in a plain white envelope unless you really knew what you were doing in terms of how to protect it. Plus, a lot of them are more than a 1/4 inch thick. So if you try to put it in a letter and ship it, the post office will reject it and say this is too thick to go as a letter. You need to pay for this to be shipped as a package. So just be aware of that. So if you're sending common cards, the way that I've learned that folks will do shipping is they'll take, has everyone ever used those 9-pagers for sleeves? You get a book, you get a binder, you get those 9 pages that are clear, you slide your cards into them. Mm-hmm. That's the best way that people have found to ship a lot of commons through a plain white envelope. So what you do is you'll cut those 9-pagers, so if you have some old ones you don't really like anymore that are a little bit scuffed up, you'll cut it into 3 sections. So you'll have 3 slots. And then you can fit anywhere from 3 to 5 cards in each sleeve area. So maybe I'm going to do some common trades with someone, they want 15 cards from me. I'll put 5 cards in each slot of that little section of 3 that I've cut up from a 9-pager. And then you just take a really thin cardboard cereal box and cut it up and put it on either side of it. Then you'll slide that in to a standard envelope and then just put, hey, do not bend. And then you'll ship that. And I have done most of my 90 trades with people using that method, and it works fantastically well. So people will use painter's tape or masking tape. Works great for tape that you put on to make sure nothing moves, but is really easy for the guy on the other side to remove. That doesn't make his life a living, you know what, to try and get it off of there. So there are some fantastic methods that you use, and a lot of how I learned how to ship cards appropriately to people was just by doing trades and looking at how did this guy efficiently send me 23 baseball cards. Did he do it, if he had a bunch of thick ones, he probably paid and had it sent in a tracked bubble mailer, which is going to be your best approach, but it may not always be the most cost-effective approach for you. So if you're buying a card or trading for a card from someone and it's a really valuable one and you don't want them to ship it in just a plain white envelope, let them know in the trading window that, hey, I want to do a trade with you, but I need there to be tracking on this package. Let me know if you need additional cards to cover that cost, etc. Most of the users, you'll be able to include messages in your transaction window and say, hey, I'd love to do a first trade with you. I like to do big trades. Let me know, what you'd like or what you're looking for. The beauty of trades is when you send a transaction to someone, we go over back to our transactions window. Transactions. As you can counteroffer, someone's going to send you a trade. They may not necessarily know exactly which cards you're going to want. You may have, like me, thousands of cards on your want list, but there may be ones you're focusing more on right now that you'd be more interested in getting from someone. So if someone sends you a proposal, so we can look at a proposal that I've sent out to someone. So we can see this gentleman over here. We can go to view the details of the trade. Here's the trade offer that I've sent to him. We've got some of those 2019 Donruss Holo Pink cards that you can get out of Chris's mega boxes. So you can see I've opened way too many of those. And then the cards, the Royals cards that I want in return. So when he gets this, he'll have actions down here in his window. And one of the buttons that it will say is it will say counter. So he can either accept the trade as it stands, or he can counter and then swap out cards in the trade and send the trade offer back to me. So if he doesn't want to do a trade that big, he can remove some cards. If he wants different cards back from me, or vice versa, he can swap all those cards out and send it back and include a message and say, hey Ian, I'd rather do a swap of these cards. Let me know if that works for you. So the beauty of it is, feel free to send offers to people. Don't worry about nailing it perfectly, about getting the cards that they want. Get it somewhat evened out and say, hey, feel free to counter. Make sure you've got cards in there that you want to trade for, and let's work this out. You'll find an incredible community of amazing people that absolutely love collecting. They dedicate tons of their time to build this database for free. Nobody's getting paid off of this. This website is run off of advertisements. So you'll see a lot of ads that run on the website. Those are paying for this website to run, and that's what supports the community. So you can do what I do, which is you can sponsor a page for $5. So I sponsor the Alex Gordon page. So if you go, we open up my bookmarks here, and you go to the Alex Gordon collection page. Let me go to see his name here. You'll see every player under the sun, under the letter G. Let's go to the next Gordon. Right there. I'm on the wrong page. Let's go here. Alex Gordon. We'll do a search for a player through here. I'm in the collection summary right now. There we go. You can go to his overview. Okay, here's his main page. So if you're going to go and collect a player, and you'll see here that this page over here is sponsored by me, and it's got a link over to my profile. So you'll get the details on your player, you'll see the current team they play for, and you'll see how many cards exist in the database of this player. You'll also see, hey, how many images have they added of the cards of this player, of the ones that he has. So you can see for Alex Gordon, there's about 700 images added out of his 3,600 cards, which is pretty good considering that over 1,000 of his cards are one-of-ones, which most people won't have images for. And then you'll see, all right, Alex Gordon's cards go from the year 2003 to 2020. And you'll be able to sift through the list. You can see all of his cards in one list this way. You can jump to a specific year. So if I just want to see his 2020 releases, I can click on that year. And that will show me, hey, here are the Alex Gordon cards that exist for this year so far. And it's his 2020 Heritage Short Print. And everything's interactive, so I can now jump over to this card, because I don't have it and I want to trade for it. Here it is. That's a hilarious picture that they put on the back of that. And where am I going to go? Look, go to the mentions. See who's got this. Did you guys notice I had the card in pink? Still on the want list. So here's the people that have already picked up this card, but they're not trading it. Here's the folks like me that want it. Hey, look, there's a guy that has it for sale trade. BL Winborn 40. So I can click on his name, send him over a transaction proposal and trade for it. Which I already have, and I'm waiting for him to respond. So we looked at collecting a player. If you want to collect a team, let's say you're a Tigers guy. You'll type in Detroit Tigers. Take you to the Tigers team page. And you'll get sticker shock from seeing how many cards are made of the Detroit Tigers when that page loads up. 111,000 cards have been made of the Tigers. And this probably doesn't encompass all the oddball ones, so it's usually going to be more than that. And they go back to the year 1903. And look at how many images have been put in the database. 36% of all Tigers cards have images in this database. And it's just people donating their time to do it. So here's all the Tigers cards. And you're like, hey man, I want to collect the Tigers cards that are out there. Where am I going to go from these links if I want to collect the Tigers? This is your quiz question. I want to collect the Tigers. Which of these blue links here do I click on? It gets me there the fastest to collect them.
Collection summary?
Collection summary, correct. And now, of these three links, if I don't have any Tigers cards and I want to get them, which link am I going to click on? If I want to get Tigers cards.
The want list.
The want list. We're going to go add update want list. Now we're asking the database to show us 111,000 cards. It's probably unhappy. All right. And notice there's a couple other statuses besides blue, green, and pink. Gray means this person has this card in a transaction right now to do a trade, and yellow means it's in the mail. So we'll see, here's all the Tigers cards. Here's where your power lies. Choose an action. Add all the cards you don't have to your want list. You can do that. It won't even take that long to put all 111,000 on there. If you went, oops, I didn't mean to do that, you can hit remove all those cards from your want list. If for some reason you're on like a set and you picked up an entire set, you don't want to click on each one and say, I have it, now I have it, I have it. You can move everything in that set from your want list to your collection. Just don't do that on a team page because you probably don't have all their cards. But they always give you a way out if you accidentally do that. So that's what I've done with the Kansas City Royals. Every time new cards come out of the Royals, I just go back to the Royals team page and say, hey, put all the cards I don't have on my want list. So it's that easy to let everybody else know that you want the cards of your team. And the beauty of this is, it doesn't really matter. You don't have to be a super collector to do this. Let's just say, I want to casually trade for cards of a player that I like or a team that I like. Put everything on their want list, because the reason is, not that you need to go out and now get all of those cards, but it makes it easier to do proposals with people because it auto-matches you to anything they have of that player or that team or that set. So don't be concerned about your want list being curated. Put everything on there that's mildly in your interest set, and then when you get to the trading window, then you can choose, okay, great, they've got 100 Alex Gordon cards, but I just want these 5 for this trade. So don't limit yourself with your want list thinking it needs to be perfect. Put everything on there that you like. It'll make it that much easier to do trades with people. Cool? Other parts with trades is we look at transactions. So we'll go to in progress. You guys will see the trades that I have that are working with other users. Here's your statuses of the trades you've got going on right now. Accepted is where a trade starts when both parties have said, yep, this is good, this is a trade that I want to do. So you'll see accepted. The next status is going to be package sent. So if we look at this trade that I'm doing with Vroom, okay, here's the card that I want in return from him. Here's all the cards that I'm sending him. This is the Topps Chrome trade I was telling you about. Scroll down and see all those Topps Chrome cards. When we get to the bottom of the trading window, here's our addresses. Okay, so it will show you you'll just load your address into your profile, and then anytime you do a trade with someone, as soon as they accept the trade, then they get your address. Okay? Really easy. You'll see any notes that we have. And I'd let them know, hey, just so you know, all your cards didn't fit securely in that one box, so I'm going to send you 2 packages. And here's the tracking number, as you were talking about, Preston. I put the tracking number for his package right there. Yep. And then down here, all I did was I changed my status from accepted to, hey, I sent you the package. What that does is it then goes to all of those Topps Chrome cards in my inventory and says, these are in the mail. Now no one else can send me a trade for those cards. Again, fantastic features. Now, when he gets them, he's going to put package received. You must use that status. Don't skip to complete it. The reason is, they'll tell you right here. Changing the status to accepted puts the items of your collection to in transaction. When you change the status to package sent, that changes the status to in transit, in the mail. When you change the status to package received, we put them in your collection. And they won't put them in as want list, they won't put them in as for sale trade, they'll put them in blue, because they're assuming you traded for them because you want to keep them. And then if you want to change the status to for sale trade later on, more power to you, you can. But those buttons, just make sure that you hit package received when you get the cards. That way they all come automatically into your inventory. And you'll know you don't need to go trade for them anymore. Because one of the most frustrating parts is anybody ever gone to purchase a card or trade for a card, got home, and you already had that card. Who's done that? Yeah, that's happened to me like 50 times. It's super frustrating. So make sure you use package received, and that's going to cut down on that dramatically. If you're sending someone a payment for something, you can use payment sent, payment received. If there's a problem, there's statuses for that. And then when you're both done with the transaction, you both hit completed, you'll be good to go. And then when you're done with the trade, I want to scroll all the way back to the top quickly. Sorry about this.
With the payments, do they just usually just use PayPal?
PayPal. Yep.
Friends and family, or just do you do goods and services?
It just depends on the person in the trade. If you're sending somebody $2, you're probably going to use friends and family because PayPal's going to take 30% of that $2. But if you're doing a bigger trade, it just depends on who you're doing it with. Trust your judgment. It's a first-time user. Do goods and services.
Another question about that. Is there like other payment options too besides just PayPal, or is it just PayPal?
So some users will send each other cash. It's really up to you two. So trading card database has no liability over your trades, right? It's just between you two people. So they're trusting that you're going to do the research, look at the person's feedback, make sure it's a trustworthy person to work with, that you're going to do your trade with. But the great part is I've done hundreds of trades and I've had one bad trade on the website. And it wasn't even a trade, it was a purchase. I tried to buy the cards from the guy, and halfway through the transaction, he decided he didn't like the amount he had charged me and wanted more money. So his solution for that was not protecting the cards and shipping them and letting them all get damaged by the mail. So there are bad eggs out there. But thankfully, ever since that trade, everyone else has come out and kind of let me know, yeah, you're right, that guy's a dick. And work with everybody else. So.
Yeah, what was his name again?
Michael Dieter. So his name on the website is 49 Ants. Don't ever do a trade with him. So anyway, that's the transaction window. Let's look and see if there's anything else we missed there. Trades that are unfinished will go there. Sometimes you're going to send someone a trade and they're just going to decline, and that's totally okay. Declined trades will go over here. You're going to get an email every time the status of your trade changes. So if somebody declines, you'll get an email and they'll let you know to go look at it. And so here's our declined trades that I had with people.
Can you go back to your in progress one real quick?
Yeah, you bet.
And then the details part of it, whatever you were clicking on before we.
Yep,
can just
I'm
click
clicking on
on-
update.
Yeah, like it says like package sent, package received. You said you have to select package received before you put completed.
Correct.
Can you just do package received, update, and then the next, like as soon as that page loads, then just do completed?
That's
Same-
exactly what you do.
Same second, pretty much?
Yep.
Okay.
Yeah, you give it just the time that it takes you to click package received, hit update, and go back. The cards are in your inventory.
Okay.
And you can verify that. What I do to make sure that they went in is I click on one card that was in the trade and see if it's blue. So if we go to like a completed trade, and I want to make sure that because none of those are me for package received. So like this trade that I had here with Ori, I can hit update. Because you can always go back if you forgot what was in the trade. It's all kept in here in the database. This is the trade that I did with Ori, and I'm like, ugh, I don't know if this Kevin Napier actually made it into my inventory. Open that in a new tab. And it is blue. So I moved the card into my inventory for me. And also notice that originally this was pink. It changes it from pink to blue for me automatically. If you want multiples of a card, you'll hit add to, you can hit, so let's say I get this card and it's banged up and I want a better condition copy. I can just hit, hey, add to want list. It's not going to change the fact that I have one, but it's going to let people know that I want to match up and try and trade for this card again, which I've done all the time. Like the trade that I had where he damaged all the cards, yeah, I physically got most of the cards that I paid for, but a lot of them were wrecked. So what I had to do on those cards, even though it moved them to blue, is put it back on my want list. That way I can trade for a better copy. Now, you may have that one unique card that you're like, I don't care if I get 100 of this baseball card, I absolutely love it, and I want 100 of this card. You can hit add multiple, okay? And they'll say, okay, you want to add multiple into your collection because you have a lot of it, your want list, etc. And you say, hey, I want 10 of this card, and it will put 10 of it on your want list for you and let people know you want multiple copies. That way, if you trade for it, it doesn't remove it from your want list because you put that you only wanted one. Same thing goes for when you're doing for sale trade. Let's say you've got a set, but you've got a lot of duplicates. Well, the fastest way is not to click add another duplicate, wait for the entire page to reload and do it again. The fastest way is to hit add multiple. And then you'll put, these cards are for sale trade. I have 10 Kevin Akers I want to trade, and add those, and it'll put 10 on your trade list. Make sense?
Yeah, that's what it is. Yeah, you might be.
And then we'll just back out of that. All right, so hey, that want list match that I talked about that was going to take a super long time is done. It has loaded. Here are my 77,000 cards I have on my want list. Here's all the sets of people that have those cards. So when I say thousands of people on this website, this is where you see that. These are all the matches of people that want to trade Royals cards that I need. This is literally endless, right? In terms of the number of trades that I can send out and do with people. All I need to do is make sure that I have cards they want. If I don't, one of the things I did when I got started was I didn't have a lot of cards on the website yet, so I said, hey, I'm buying Royals cards. So feel free to send me a transaction, put all the cards in there, and just put how much PayPal you want. And then I'll counter offer if I think the amounts needs to be changed. So if you really want a card that somebody has and you don't have anything they want, feel free to offer them PayPal. So if I really want to go after a certain set, let's take a set that probably has a reasonable amount of cards. So let's go with 2018 Topps Kansas City Royals. We'll click on that set. Then it's going to populate down beneath here with the people that have that card, or those cards in that set. And again, you have live links to all of the different sports. So if you're collecting, like me, you're doing baseball and football, you can click on that football one, open that in a new tab, and see all of your football matches. Sometimes the website's really fast, sometimes it's not. So just be patient when you're doing big database requests. And then if we go back and look at some of my other recent matches, it'll open those up. Oh, somebody loaded in a bunch of cards I needed. Probably all one or two people. I can click on those. And then it should populate down beneath with what that card is and who has it. You can even see an image of what that card looks like, and there's the person that has it. And then here's that 2018 Topps set. So again, you want a set. These are the ones I'm missing that people have. Number 2, number 3, number 6, and number 16. And then there's my links for matches to send people trade offers. All right. Any more questions about what you guys have seen so far?
They have other sports in here too, like wrestling and UFC and stuff.
Yep, so if you want to see what list they've got up here, set this, drop down. Here's your wrestling, tennis, soccer, racing, non-sport. So if your kid wants to collect Frozen cards, great. Do it your non-sport. Miscellaneous hockey, golf, gaming releases. So like Fortnite, you guys have probably seen those cards on the store shelves. Fortnite cards will be in there. Basketball, boxing, etc.
That's pretty cool.
Yep. It's pretty slick. And if the sport isn't addressed there, it's probably under miscellaneous sports that you can find. And there may be times where you're trying to look for a card and you can't locate it anywhere. You can always go to the home page, hop into the forum, see the forum postings that are here. You can search the forum for conversations about it, or you can make your own post in the forum and see what's going on. It's because maybe you're looking for a card that you can't find in the database. I've had that happen hundreds of times where I don't know what card I'm holding. I just can't seem to find what the parallel is. Take a picture of it, post it on there. People will help you find what it is, and if it doesn't exist in the database, people can add it. The other part is, you don't need to feel like you're responsible for making sure that every new card or set, stuff of your player gets added. Maybe you don't want to take the time to do that. One of the things that you can do is you can go to a set, like let's say, you guys all remember when Topps did Rediscover Topps and they added a stamp to old baseball cards and put them right back in packs? Those Rediscover cards? Well, there's thousands of those Rediscover Topps cards that have not made it into checklists because people haven't bothered to take the time to do it. So maybe you have a Rediscover Topps card with a stamp on it and it doesn't exist in the database. So what you'll do is you'll go here. There's 2017 Topps Rediscover Topps. We'll click on that. Here's the ones that they have in here from that set. Maybe there's a card that's listed in there that I want them to add. Right here you have an inaccuracies link. There are members who spend hours and hours and hours every week of their own time for free just to resolve inaccuracies that we report. And they are fast. So that trade that I was doing with the end user named Broom, he's one of the most helpful people on the website for correcting inaccuracies. So I'll just click here to let us know, and say, hey, I have card of Marty Patton for the Royals from 1976 with the silver stamp. And they will go add it to the silver stamp set and let me know. There's usually a link to it, and I go right back in and add the card to my collection. And a lot of times they're doing it the same day I submit the inaccuracies request. That's how fast these people are. So it's really impressive how cool this community is that runs this website. I've been very impressed with it. Messages that you have with other people, we didn't look at that yet, but this is where all your messages will be. I mentioned that you're going to get an email anytime a transaction is updated, like if it goes from accepted to they shipped it. You'll get an email and it will look like this. Hey, this transaction's been updated. You can go to your transactions window or you can hop straight to the trade and see what it is. And this was a gift that I was sending to somebody, so I didn't ask for anything in return, but I just let them know, hey, I'm going to be sending you these baseball cards. So all your messages will be tracked there. And if you want to send a message to another member, you just click New Message, type in their name, and send the message off to them. So hopefully this is a nice little introduction to kind of whet your appetite for getting your cards tracked. We look at some of those initial questions that we had. First question was, I have a lot of cards, now what I'm supposed to do? Decide how you want to focus your collection. Right? Trading card database is pretty much everything that's out there, to a large extent. Don't feel overwhelmed and feel like you need to load every single card that you have at home into the website. Start really small with something you really enjoy and go from there. So if you really, really like 2020 Topps and you want to chase that site or that set, just go to the site and just focus on that for a while. And then once you're done working on that, feel free to go then load in some of the cards of your favorite team or your favorite player, whatever you want to do. But don't try to go home, get out your 5,000 card box and type in every single set and try and load them in because you're going to just feel overwhelmed and you're not going to want to do it. So start with the stuff you like and go from there and it'll all take care of itself. How do you easily get rid of the cards that you don't want? Mark the cards that you don't want in green. Okay? Then other people are going to get matches that'll let them know, hey, that's the card I want. And they'll send you a trade proposal. Or you can look at it from your side and send them a trade proposal yourself. So initiate trades with other members. How can you keep better track of what you have? Utilize an inventory manager. I love Trading Card Database. Sports Card Forum has its advantages as well. If you want to do a paid one with Beckett, awesome. They have a really good database as well. Sort your boxes the same way that your inventory manager does. This is so, so crucial. If you're going to do a box of cards that you want to trade, start a new box, right? So whatever you want to trade on Trading Card Database, I would thoroughly encourage you, start a new box. Anytime you load cards in there that you want to trade, put them in that box and sort them the way the website does, by year and then alphabetically by the set date. Because then when someone sends you a trade request and says, hey, I want to trade for those cards, and you're like, I don't know where I put those. Have a trade box. Start there, build it, and sort it the way the website does. That way it only takes you seconds to go back and quickly find, okay, this guy wanted a 2018 Topps card. At 2020, I'm going to go to 2018, get in that range, and then pull that card out and add it to my trade. So if you don't do that, you're going to be really, really tired of how long it takes you to find cards that you need to trade to people. How can you connect more with other people in the hobby? If you're not using Facebook, and the card groups that are out there, I highly encourage you to. Facebook is an incredible resource for the card collecting community. There are free groups out there that have 40,000 members in them, where you can easily move cards. So let's say you have cards and you really just want to sell them. Okay, Trading Card Database probably isn't the best website for selling cards, but you can sell cards via Facebook. Obviously, you can sell them via eBay. You can send them in for consignment to websites like ComC, where you pay them, 30 cents for that card for them to process it, and they'll load it into their website, and then you can put a price on it and sell it there. So if you have higher end cards that you want to get cash back for, utilize some of those resources that are out there. And then connecting with other people. There are forums built into almost all of these websites for you to connect with other people. You're going to find other people. You're going to see names. So let's say you're going to collect the Tigers. You're going to see some same names every single time when you're looking at cards. And that guy collects that card too, and he wants that card too, and he wants that. Oh, this guy wants all the Tigers cards just like I do. So you'll find a community that you can bond with. You can do duplicate swaps with other end users. So I'm friends with a number of other Royals collectors, and we can send each other 100 Royals cards for 100 Royals cards, and it's a fast way for both of us to build up our collections. So please go out there and befriend the people that collect a lot of the same stuff you do, because they're going to have tips for you about how to find the cards that they need. They're going to have duplicates because they're happy to get them of their team that they like, and they'll probably be happy to swap them with you. So search those people out. So find your family. Connect with groups of people that are doing the same things that you are, and just have a blast doing it. Don't get overwhelmed. Start really small. All right. Any other questions? I think we're
I
about
had
it
one,
now.
Ian.
Yeah.
When you're doing your trading on your database, are you more swapping kind of common cards, or are you still doing like higher price stuff and
So
bigger cards on you too?
if you were putting values on it, I'm swapping stuff between a nickel and $10 in terms of individual card values. So I do trades all the time with people that are autographs. Usually we'll include, I'll have an autograph on my side, they'll have an autograph on their side, and there'll be a bunch of comments, thrown in that trade as well. So if we're doing single card trades, I generally don't do single card trades unless it's worth more than what a stamp costs. So I'm not going to accept a trade from you if you're trying to trade me a quarter card, and I got to pay 55 cents to send it to you. So a lot of users will have anywhere from 5 to 15 cards that you need. There will be kind of like unicorn users who have thousands of cards on your want list. So pay attention to those people, start small with them. You may be able to complete a lot of trades with them. I'll have people where we'll complete a trade, and as soon as we've received cards, he sends me another trade and we do another one the next week. So you can do the plain white envelope fashion for doing those. That's great. There will be users in Canada that want to do trades with you. Just be aware of how much it costs to ship to Canada and what you need to do there. So it's probably not going to be cost effective to send them a PayPal Ship Now package because it'll cost you $30. But you can send them a plain white envelope with 15 cards in it for $1.25. So if you're doing trades with other countries, just be aware of what the shipping rules are. If you don't know, ask. Tons of people on the website are dealing with it right now. People that live in Canada will tell you the best way to send them cards because they do hundreds of trades that way. But I've got some awesome Royals cards from people in Quebec and Nova Scotia, and that nobody else had. And if I hadn't been willing to trade with them, I probably wouldn't have got those cards.
Do you suggest buying the scale?
Yes. So go on eBay or go to your favorite local department store and pick up a $10 digital scale, because that way you're going to do a lot of trading, and you don't want to waste stamps. Put it on your scale first to see how much it weighs. That way you know exactly how many stamps you need to put on it. Even if you're doing PayPal Ship Now, right? And you're going to send somebody a bunch of cards, you could be paying more if you're over guessing how much it's going to cost. And it's going to be a huge headache if you didn't pay enough and the package gets sent back to you, or it gets delivered to them and the postman says, I got a package for you, but you got to pay me $3.50 before I deliver it. That's really going to tick off the other person. It happens from time to time. Send them PayPal to cover it, or send them some trading cards to make it right. But if you're like me and you get really tired of guessing what your stuff weighs, grab a $10 scale because it's going to pay for itself if you do some trades with people. What else you guys got? All right, so we've got a hobby box of Leaf Power Showcase. These have 12 autograph cards in this box. So what I'm going to do is we're going to put everybody's names that's here, that's been at these tables, in a list on random.org, and the top 12 people are each going to get a hit out of this box. So we'll fire that up here.